Hello everyone and welcome to a mini-series in UE4 tutorials. This series is going to be covering, this mini-series is going to be covering collectibles, how we pick them up and how do we register them for things like UI to indicate when we pick things up. For the base of this, I'm going to do gems, and I've already imported in my gem model, which I quickly modelled in Maya, and I also created its material. Didn't do anything too fancy, so it's just the parameter is a gem color, which is a default one that comes with the import, but it is a vector parameter. So just search for vector parameter, and that's this. I then put in 0 for metallic, 1 for specular, and then a 0.1 for roughness. In fact, you can probably do roughness at 0 if you wanted to as well, but it doesn't really matter too much. So I've got this set up, and I want gem color to be a parameter because I want to make it randomize which color gem it's actually going to be. So we'll go through how to do that as well. So once you've created your material, that's all there is to it, by the way. It's nothing extra. And this is a really cheap material. It doesn't cost anything really to draw to the screen. So we're going to make a collectible that we can run over and pick up. And in the next episode, we'll go on the user interface side of things. So let's start off with just getting the actual actor inside the game. So we've got the mesh, we've got the material, now we need the actor. So go to add new, blueprint class, and choose actor. And we'll just call this one gem collectible. And open it up. Okay, so in here, we're going to add our gem model. So I'm going to go static mesh, like so. And we'll call it gem. And I'm going to, with it selected, go to the right hand side details panel and choose which mesh it's going to use, which is the gem. Pretty simple. I'm just going to hover it above the ground a little bit, like so. And I'm also going to give it a little rotation of a tilt, like that way as well. We're going to add a sphere collision. And we're going to use this to detect when the player has entered it and crossed paths with it. And we want it to be fairly large. Well, larger than the model, at least. Okay, so the player doesn't have to be super exact to pick up the gem. That'll do. And we're then going to add a rotating movement component. And this sort of component makes it just spin on the spot. So by default, if you click simulation, you can see it's working. It just does this spinning thing. If you want it to be slower, you can go over to where it says rotation rate. And you can turn it down to whatever you want. So 90 degrees is like so. I believe it's in per second, so 90 degrees per second. And yeah, there you go. So I'm going to hit compile, and we'll leave it for there for now. And what we're going to do is work on the construction script to get it to change color to a random selection of colors. So click on your construction script tab. And this script is used for when you are wanting to make something more procedural, like making colors be randomized and procedurally generated for you. So this is where you typically would do that sort of stuff. Okay, so in here we're going to drag our gem mesh out, and we're going to set vector parameter, vector parameter value on materials, and the name of your parameter name, is going to be the same name as the material. So if I go back to my material, I've called it gem color parameter. So back on here, if I type it in exactly how I've done it there, it will now set that parameter there to whatever I put in here. Now I want it to be a random selection from a pool of colors. So what we're going to do is from the parameter value, we're going to create an array of vectors that we can use. So if you were to do make array, and in here we're going to do to vector, and you want linear color, and we're going to add a few more pins to this. So click on add pin a few more times, and we're going to copy that to vector linear color a few more times as well. And plug them into the relative pins. and it'll build an array, a list of different colours basically. And you can click on your linear colours and choose which colour you want it to choose from. So we're going to go for a red colour, a blue, a green, a purple, and we'll do a cyan. Okay, so we've got this array now set up with these various colours. Now to choose a random one from this selection. So we're going to take the array and we'll do get, and we'll get a copy. And then from the integer, we're going to get a random int in range. And the range, minimum 0, maximum, is going to be the last index number of the array here. So let's just give us a bit more space, drag out from the array and get last index. And that'll go into your max. So the last index here is 4. So it's going to choose a random value between 0, which is this one here, and 4, which is this one here. And we're then going to plug that into our parameter value, and that is it. Now, because it's in our construction script, if I was to add this into the game, you can see already there it's changing colours. And I can drag another one out by doing Alt-click, and you can see it just randomizes the colours. Okay. Doesn't help that it's not, I say it is random, so you never know what you're going to get, but there you go. Okay. Now, the mesh at the moment has a collision on it, so we want to turn that collision off because we'll be walking through it and collecting it up. So go down to the collectible, click on the mesh component, scroll down to the right hand side and tell its collision to be no collision on it, and click compile. Okay, so now the player should be able to walk through all these gems. Okay. Okay, excellent. So the next job is to be able to pick up these gems. So if I go into my gem collectible and go to the event graph, and I'm going to right click on the sphere component in my component list and click on add event and choose add a component begin overlap. So this will trigger whenever something overlaps this sphere collision. With the other actor, we're going to test whether or not this is the player character. So we're going to do cast 2. In this case, it's the third person character. As third person character, we'll be storing the gems in a moment. We'll do it in the next episode. But for now, let's just confirm it and destroy the actor. So now, if the player walks over the sphere collision, it will destroy the gem. There you go. And that's the basic pickup of the gems. In the next episode, we'll make it so it adds it to the player's stat, and then we'll also add it to the UI. So we've got a UI element as well shown on the screen. If you want to watch that next episode right now, we can head over to patreon.com/Ryan Ailey, where a donation of just $1 will get access to that video, plus many others. Big thank you to all of my patrons and YouTube members for their continued support. None of this would be possible without you guys, so thank you so much once again. If you have any questions or suggestions for future content, please leave a comment below. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that little like button too. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.